দিল্লিতে এই মুহূর্তে সাংবাদিকদের মুখোমুখি তৃণমূল কংগ্রেসের রাজ্যসভার সদস্য সুখেন্দু শেখর রায় সরাসরি নজর রাখব।
সামনে কি ভিড় হয়ে যাবে পুরো?
Namaskar. This is Sukhendo Shekhar Ray, National Spokesperson of All India Trinamool Congress. Today's press conference has been organized to highlight certain major issues relating to the harassing exercise being done by the Central Bureau of Investigation and the Enforcement Directorate, particularly in West Bengal. As you know, that the Central Bureau of Investigation and Enforcement Directorate, popularly known as CBI and ED, are being misused by the center to target political opponents. This is capricious misuse of state authority according to us. For example, after Judge B.K. Lawyer died on 1st of December 2014, the new judge discharged the present Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, on 30th December 2014, and CBI did not challenge the order of discharge. My question is, if CBI did not have sufficient material evidence to institute a case against any individual, why did they go for that? And if, according to them, there was sufficient evidence and materials to substantiate the charge, then why they did not go for an appeal? The next point is, former Chief Justice of India, as you know, the Honorable Mr. Justice Lodha had once commented that CBI is a caged parrot. Now, ED too has joined the fray, and both in conjunction with each other have graduated to his master's voice, HMV, reminiscent of the gramophone company. ED has gone wild at the instance of the Union government. CBI and ED keep probing political opponents of the ruling party for years, only to sensationalize them just before elections. Timing invariably precedes an impending election, and so their seriousness to sincerely investigate any offence is highly suspect. For example, simple alleged one-time cash payment of rupees 3 lakhs or more by sting operation continues to linger since 2014. These cases keep surfacing only before election. Arrests for alleged one-time acceptance of cash took place in 2021, 7 years after sting operation conducted in 2014. CBI and ED have only recently filed charge sheet. For sure, the case will linger and huge noise will be made before every election. But while filing the charge sheet, we have found that there is absence of a name of a particular BJP man, a town court, and TMC have time and again raised the question, why are there no names of any BJP leaders like Shubhendu Adhikari on the charge sheet? Shubhendu Adhikari was seen in the Naroda sting operation, and CBI even filed an FIR against him, but his association with the BJP is keeping him safe. Now, the so-called video tape, reportedly it was forensic test was done, and if it appeared from the forensic test that the video tape was genuine one, then how come that Shubhendu Adhikari was seen by millions of people that he was taking bribe from a gentleman or a bribe giver? How he has been exempted from the charge sheet as of now? This is a moot question. To substantiate our charge against this government that they are misusing the central agencies like CBI and the ED. The ED has also been harassing officials without any concrete evidence, while they turn a blind eye to their own 12 leaders, BJP leaders, who looted Bengal's coal belt. There is a long list of misuse of these central agencies by the central government. I won't go for that. But it appears that the investigation or arrest jurisprudence has replaced a fair procedure for criminal justice system. Jail has become the rule only for political opponents and bail an exception, although it was the settled principle of law that bail is the rule, not the jail. This is the dawn of a new jurisprudence that CBI and ED have carved out exclusively for political opponents of the ruling party at the center. The CBI and ED have allowed themselves to be perceived as arms of the ruling political party at the center. Now, to elucidate this, I would like to point out that in a few cases, like 4 days before the single-phase Tamil Nadu Assembly elections, 4 days before the Tamil Nadu election, the Income Tax Department raided DMK Chief M.K. Stalin's daughter, Senthamaraya's residence. A month before the assembly polls in Maharashtra, the Enforcement Directorate registered an alleged money laundering case against Nationalist Congress Party Chief Sharad Pawarji. And just over a month before the first polls of West Bengal, the CBI was sent to harass Abhishek Banerjee and did not even spare his wife from the political witch hunt. Is it all just a coincidence? Or the BJP is simply keeping all these central agencies on their leash? Enforcement agencies like the Income Tax Department and the Enforcement Directorate have rarely raided the BJP leaders over the last 6 years. Leaders like Hemanta Biswa Sarma, B.S. Yedurappa are also accused, but are they raided? What does that mean? What does that mean? This shows a clear trend of how just before election, central agencies, including the CBI, ED and income tax, swing into action, summon individuals in old cases, conduct raids and issue FIRs. It is clearly evident that BJP is using ED to further their political motives and vindictive politics in Bengal. Earlier, Shubhendu Adhikari, in a press conference, said that CBI will investigate in a way that will not spare any AITC leaders. They will have to queue up outside the BJP office. If central agencies such as CBI and ED were not being used politically by the BJP-led government, then how can BJP leaders make such a prediction? Is Shubhendu Adhikari a spokesperson of the ED or the CBI or the income tax? Or for that matter, the central government? CBI and ED are prejudiced and serve the interest of BJP. Even the National Human Rights Commission submitted a politically colored report on the so-called post-poll violence to unnecessarily aggravate the issue. Now, I will come to another point, that the latest trend also shows that even lawyers of political opponents are being targeted. ED has been issuing notices to competent, independent and clean lawyers. Investigation and arrest are being carried out by choice with no accountability. For example, arrest of lawyer of ex-Maharashtra Home Minister Sri Anil Deshmukh is the case in point. In Bengal, the situation has become akin to a student after failing an examination targeting the examiner. The examiner is the voter and elected representatives of people. People of Bengal and those who have won election are being targeted. This is political vengeance at its worst. CD and ED have booked political opponents of the ruling party, but tamely yielded before those who have switched to ruling political party. The case in point is that of Subhendu Adhikari, as I have mentioned already. In Maharashtra, the ruling party, I have said what happened. Another law is that a person, Subhendu Adhikari, a person like Subhendu Adhikari, accused in CBI case, was found for 20 minutes inside the premises of the CBI counsel, the Solicitor General of India, who was opponent in the same case. As admitted, I mean to say that Solicitor General was appearing on behalf of the prosecutors, and the accused Subhendu Adhikari had been to his place, and it was reported in all the leading newspapers and media. And also it was admitted by the Solicitor General. He was kind enough to admit that the accused was offered a hot cup of tea by his staff at his residence. Such nonchalance and brazenness is unprecedented, I must say. What is this all about? It is because of the landslide victory that Ms. Mamata Banerjee led Trinamool Congress has received thrice in succession in West Bengal, despite the onslaught of the union government led by Sri Narendra Modi ji and Sri Amit Shah ji. They declared that they will capture Bengal and they will have more than 200 seats. Now they have gone in silent mode, and so no reply to anybody as to why they suffered such a huge humiliation in Bengal, because they wanted to capture Bengal, not to win the hearts of Bengal. Now, as a matter of vengeance, a witch hunt has started. They have asked the central agencies to run after one after another TMC leaders. What happened to Abhishek Bandyopadhyay? Not only Abhishek Bandyopadhyay, not only his wife, his associates, even his college friends, they are being hounded. So many people are hounded. If I have relationship or friendship with dozens of eminent persons or whosoever, they are hounding each one of them. Is it democracy? And is it the duty of the central agencies, supposedly to be neutral agencies? The constitution makers, they set up so many constitutional authorities and statutory authorities and other authorities in this country who will render services for common good. But that common good factor is absent in the action or inaction on the part of the central agencies, and the union government has let loose a reign of terror all over the country to throttle the voice of the opposition. We condemn this, but at the same time, on behalf of All India Trinamool Congress, we would like to say that we shall fight all these conspiracies against the Bengali people and the people of India who are opposed to this union government's anti-people policies. We shall fight both politically, legally, and whatever arsenals are with us legally possible, we will exercise all alternatives to unmask this government that how a authoritarianism regime has taken place in our body polity. Thank you. बांग्ला बोले दिए, पहले बांग्ला में बोलने दीजिए, फिर हिंदी में बोल दूंगा। एबीपी आनंद है क्या हिंदी? हाँ, आप बीच में मत बोलिएगा, मैं बोल दूंगा। আচ্ছা, বাংলায় বলি। আমরা এইমাত্র ইংরেজিতে বললাম যে কেন্দ্রীয় সরকারের নির্দেশে সিবিআই এবং ইডি